Good morning, everybody. It is the day before the CSRC Convention. CSRC is the California Society for Respiratory Care. I am going to get my day started, and then from there, I'll start to pack. I have to do some stuff here at home, and then I will pull the camera gear that I need to film the convention. So I'm going to show you guys what you're missing if you've never gone to a CSRC convention. See the different vendors, what's the up and coming tech and respiratory. It's in Pachenga out in Temecula, which is about an hour drive from where I'm at. I'm at Fontana. So I just have to drive a little bit more east. And then from there, I will go there to the convention, check in. And then from there, I will go to my hotel room later on that afternoon. I normally stay at Pachenga, but I don't have steady income. I can't justify spending $200 a night there. I just want to make sure that I maximize my finances the best way I can. I am employed by a RT registry, as well as I work for my mom at her business, which is lifefedfornurses.com. And it's a CNA school, as well as we do renewals for BLS, ACLS, PALS. I work there, and I don't make as much as I did teaching at a vocational college, but it is what it is. And that's why I'm trying to get the business going. I'm going to start my day with some coffee, and then I will talk to you guys in a bit. All right, got my cup of coffee. Oh my God. All right, so conference time. So looks like it starts tomorrow, but if you are needing your law and professional ethics class, registration for that starts at 8 and then the class starts at 9. Now I took the class there. It was about a good 3 hours, so I got CEUs for that, which is actually pretty cool. And then registration opens up for the entire conference at 11. So I'll be heading out there. I'll probably shoot some B-roll, register, look and see who I know, who I may know, who I'm going to introduce myself to. Okay, and then we have the president's message, CRCF awards, and then at around 1 o'clock, we have the AARC 2025, the new era. So AARC is going to let us know what's happening for this year and what they're trying to do. Our first speaker, Dr. Raj Dasgupta, he's talking about mechanical ventilation made easy. We have an afternoon break, and then from there, we keep on going with benign and malignant central airway disease by Dr. Monica Cole. That sounds pretty interesting. That's going to take us into 4 o'clock. Then you have Just Because You Can Doesn't Mean You Should by Brian Smith. I'm not sure what that's about. 5 to 6, it says a poster presentation. 5:30 to 7:30, welcome reception with the vendors, and the exhibits open. So around 5:30, we get to go in and look at the different vendors and all of the new equipment, things like that. Now, what I'm looking for is the integration between respiratory machines and AI. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, and how AI can help the respiratory field. Seeing that the future is AI and looking at where we are at respiratory therapy, I want to see AI inclusion into some of these devices that we'll see tomorrow. So that's going to be huge for me. So this time it's going to be more of networking, as well as seeing how the future of ingenuity in terms of AI is being used in respiratory machines. So that's going to be pretty huge. So that's day one. So I probably try to break away sometime that afternoon because I have to check into my hotel. So from there, I probably will check in, put my stuff down, and then come back. So I probably have maybe like a 1 or 2 mile drive to my hotel. And then I will come back and catch some of these other talks. And then I will start to show you guys the vendors. And then going into Wednesday, March 12th, that's when we have a full day of speakers. So we start off, there's breakfast with the vendors at around 9 o'clock. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but they have what's called Sputum Bowl. It's one school versus another, and they're answering respiratory questions. So it's usually fun to see, and I'll try to pop in there and get you guys some footage. So you got sputum preliminaries going on throughout the entire day from 9 to 5. 8:30, we start off with diagnosing asthma. Spirometry is normal. Now what? It'll be interesting to see. This is from Heather Murgatroyd. We'll see what she says about that. Let's see, 9:30 to 10:25, controversies in spirometry. So this is heavily spirometry related, which is actually pretty good because I'm planning to get my RPFT just because I have nothing else to do, just to add more credentials. Let's see, from 10:30, you start long-term effects of prematurity on the lungs. From there, let me see, it says 11:30 to 1, lunch with the vendors. Usually what that means is that they'll just put out some lunch spreads inside the room where the vendors are at, so you can just help yourself. Then we break off into the educator meeting. So it's either educator or manager. I don't remember what I put. I think I put manager. I'm not sure which one I'm going to be attending in that one. After that breakaway session, you have the importance of political advocacy to our profession. That'd be interesting to see. This is Michael Madison. I know Michael Madison. We were on the CSRC board together, so this will be really good. Going into 2 o'clock, you have the ATS ERS technical standards, a review of the required testing and QC models. So then from there, we have a break, and then we have, this is great, robotic bronchoscopy, advancing precision in lung nodule sampling. Now, in LinkedIn, I saw videos of this where you would have a robot assisting a physician in bronchoscopy, which is actually pretty cool. But then it leads me to think that they don't need respiratory therapists to assist in bronch, because that is one of the competencies that I taught my students is bronch assist. And as a student, I also assisted in a bronchoscopy, bronchoscopic treatments for COPD from past to future. This one is from Dr. Nairo Patel. For the robotic bronchoscopy, that is Dr. Elliot Ho. That's going to be great. So it says from past to future. So we're looking at the trending data in regards to how we treated COPD and how we bronched them in the past to how it is now. So that's going to be pretty interesting as well. From 4:55 to about 5, looking at interventional pulmonology panel Q&A. That just gives us as respiratory therapists a chance to ask questions in regards to interventional pulmonology. And then from 5:30 to 7, you got speedable finals. I'll take you into that so you guys can see that. And then at 6:30 is going to be dinner. I believe I'm eating dinner with a couple of colleagues of mine, some former coworkers. And that'll be great too. It's a pricey restaurant, but it is what it is. Now, usually around this time, they have an after party, and that signals the end of the conference. But there's a day 3. So day 3, this is on Thursday, March 13th. You have breakfast there. Then you have the managers meeting. Okay, so that's how they did it. Usually they would break you up from education meeting and then managers meeting. So it looks like they put them in different days. And then from 8 o'clock, it says the F word, futility in ethics. Dr. Jenny Kingsley. That seems interesting because ethics is such a huge part of our day-to-day lives as respiratory therapists. 9 o'clock starts the lungs and ECMO. It's not all bypassed. Dr. Asavari Kamarkar. And then we have a break. And then from 10 to 11, it says respiratory care at home, best practices for better breathing. And that is by Lily Burney. That actually looks pretty interesting, respiratory care at home. So heading into lunch from 11 to 12, personalized approach to pulmonary hypertension. Dr. Amir Ashrafi. That sounds pretty interesting too. And then at 12 o'clock, general conference adjourned. So this is when it's officially over. But a lot of times, a lot of the RTs, they just go for 2 days and then they leave. And then from 1 to 4, it says optional workshop, chalk transport team showcase. I think you had to pay a little extra for that. And then also from 1 to 3 is respiratory care board meeting, which seems interesting to me. I might stay for that because staying for that, you get 2 leadership CEs. Now, the thing with the CEs is that respiratory, we broke it up into different categories. So you have leadership, you have education, you have general, and then you have, I think, like something like face-to-face or on ground. It's not all online anymore. So I'm not sure why they did that, but they did. Because I'm not working in leadership and I'm not in education anymore, it's going to be hard for me to get those CEs. So going to a conference like this, I'm pulling, let me see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, possibly 11 CEs for leadership. And then I think everything else is probably going to be general. I'm pulling a lot of CEUs with this conference. conference, which is okay. But the thing is, you have to consider the cost, which is, I think it was almost $400, which is high from years past. And that's just probably inflation. But you have that, and then you also have the cost of the hotel. So room and board, as well as the conference, versus how many CEUs you're getting. That's something that you have to consider. So CSRC convention tomorrow, I'm going to get myself ready. I'm going to start packing. I'm going to start getting some last minute things done here. And we'll be hitting the road tomorrow, and we'll be heading out to Temecula, and you will get to see the CSRC convention 2025 at Pachenga. I'll see you then.